Welcome in, everybody, to another. Oh, shoot. You go.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome into another live edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host and good buddy James Haskell, and of course DK's in the back running the show. And special guest, which I'm going to allow Jimmy to introduce. He's been practicing, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been practicing, ladies and gentlemen. You might know the one, the only, Qadry Ismail, former Raven, man of the town, the fastest Baltimore Raven. Welcome to the show, Qadry. How you doing?
Oh my God. Man, that intro, it's riveting. I got goosebumps all up the back of my neck.
Yeah, my face is extremely red.
That was the worst professional wrestler intro, or what do they call it?
The intro, the hype.
Yeah.
Hey, next time you're gonna have to top it, Glenn.
No, I you know what? You didn't set the bar very high, so I think I can jump over that. No problem. But thanks so much for coming out, Qadry. Certainly appreciate your time. I got to start with where everything really started when it comes to changes to this team, and that was when the Ravens decided to move on from Greg Roman. Finally, most fans felt that maybe it was a season too late, but they bring in Todd Monken from the University of Georgia, coming off of back-to-back national championships. And so my question to you is, how much of – because oftentimes Greg Roman gets blamed for the struggles on offense, certainly in the passing game. So do you think that this was an inability for Greg Roman to – to scheme up an effective and complementary passing game, or was part of it, as we've seen, later in the offseason, how much of it was just a lack of talent? Because we heard Eric DeCosta admit that, he didn't do the best job of surrounding Lamar with the talent. So how much of it was Greg Roman and how much of it was just not a lot of talent in the room?
So I think from a football standpoint, the general manager's role is to build the team, and in building the team, you have to have a head coach with a certain vision, and that coach has his vision of what his team looks like. And then therefore it is his job to get a coordinator on both sides of the ball that are going to fit to what he thinks everything is going to be about. And then that's where the general manager, Bill Parcells always talks about how, it's one thing to be the coach and, you're cooking things, but you would like to be also that GM hat where you can go out and get some of your own ingredients. So with that, I think for John Harbaugh, it was, this is my team. I want a tough, hard-nosed team. I think he liked what Jim Harbaugh was doing in San Francisco as far as the run dominance of what they put forth. Clearly, when he had Marty Morningwig, and then at that time, Greg Roman was kind of just a run game coordinator. All the other coordinators that had come before them, really Jim Caldwell and Gary Kubiak were only really two that I thought, just were so in tune and lockstep with the players. And the way they called things and the rhythm of the groove of everything, I just thought that it fit perfectly. I think what happened with, Greg Roman was, he had Lamar Jackson's MVP year, and I think he got drunk off of that. I think he, got to the point where having, an outside passing game, it's all about, hey, who are my strengths? My strengths are my tight end. So then you look at Hayden Hurst, who was looking to leave. Well, I got to replace him. So who's going to go out and get some of the ingredients that's going to fit the team, that's going to stay in the mold that the head coach wants, the head coach got for the coordinator. The coordinator is sitting there like, ooh, this is what I want. You get more tight ends. And, some of those tight ends got injured. Nick Boyle, obviously, like I said, Hayden Hurst, he went out the door. You convert a guy from D-line to fullback, hybrid, tight end, and now you got a team that, in your mind, is talented, but it's all predicated in the middle of the field. And I think that's where, people were, losing their minds because you're like, oh, well, we need talent. Like, no, we got talent. This is how you're going to use this talent, and this is how they're going to use talent. And then you just saw how, it worked when it worked. But I think the F minus really kind of derailed things from a preparation standpoint. And the more the F minus was in the building, the more things built up. You had all those mega injuries, and it just snowballed into, this methodical, almost, dare I say, predictable type of a defense, or type of an offense that the defense was keying in on. Oh, Patrick Ricard, he's over on the right side. The formation is set to the left side. He's going in motion. Well, based upon what we saw in film, when he goes in motion, and that means we got to go over there and get him. Sure enough, defenses are in the NFL. They get paid to play. Your flow goes towards that side. Now, all of a sudden, you're not looking like the explosive 2019 offense where you're just like dominating, rushing for darn near 300 yards at a clip. So I think there's a lot of complexities in all that. And I think, Eric has to take part of the blame for it. I think, John Harbaugh has to shoulder a ton of the blame as well. And of course, the scapegoat is, and they handled it professionally, as far as not just out and out firing him and making it like, this is not what, they quietly let him go, he's going to do something different. So, I think that's where Greg Roman and that offense was at.
Yeah, Glenn and I were pretty sure that they were hopeful that he would get the Stanford job, so that way it could just, natural progression could take its course, right? And obviously that didn't work out. We hope for all the best for Greg, and obviously at the end of the day, a historic offense is what he produced here, at least for 1 year, and some pretty prolific offenses. But I can't disagree with what your analysis is. Really, the thing that I think most people are excited about is now Lamar Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, is the only quarterback in the NFL, at least the AFC, I believe, actually, the AFC, with 4 former first-round picks as wide receivers.
Wow.
And so, look, I think a lot of people have already, because they're talking about Odell, they're talking about Zay, they're talking about Rashad. A lot of people are already forgetting about 2 guys, and that's Nelson Aguilar, which is a sneaky, I think, solid pick if, playing within his role, and then also Devin Duvernay. But really my question is, Q, we have a lot of questions about this wide receiver core, but my first question is, chronologically, what was your excitement level or your initial reaction when you saw the Odell Beckham signing? Was that something you were like, "Oh, I'm excited about this can work"? You were like, this was a reach type thing?
No, I thought that was genius, because there was so much negative PR that was happening, and you just didn't know what direction this team was going in. And Lamar, obviously, we now know, was posturing and just trying to spark up more negotiation with the team, and I think the team was kind of sitting there and hoping and praying that they can get a deal done with a dynamic playmaking type of receiver, and it all just started snowballing in a positive. And when I saw the news, like, I just was out of my mind with excitement that, wow, I think this is going to happen. And I know they were still holding it close to the vest as far as like, well, hopefully it'll get done. But, once he signed, I mean, I'm like, yeah, what are you going to do? Sign, Stetson Bennett on draft night to say, hey, we got Todd Monken, quarterback, in college to help, OBJ? No, I think it was just a matter of time, which it obviously turned out to be. And it was like, it's interesting because I was against getting OBJ when Greg Roman was here, because I didn't think a receiver like that would thrive in an offense like that. Whereas now Todd Monken's offense, which he was already a part of in Cleveland, I think he is going to thrive big time because he's going to be hungry to show that he still can play. But I think they're going to feature him. I think that they know him. I think Todd's comments regarding him being a superstar with his own brand, the whole 9 yards, and just, who he is, it doesn't scare Todd. Some coordinators are scared of megawatt players and don't know how to handle it. But I don't think that's Todd Monken.
Yeah, no doubt. I think a lot of fans were excited to see OBJ join the team. But what do you think about the naysayers that say that the Ravens maybe paid a little bit too much for a guy who's coming off an injury, a lost season? What do you think? What level of Odell Beckham are the Ravens going to get? And was he worth the financial investment?
So from a minutia esoteric framework, I qualify it this way. I do sports performance training, missile training, and I am so counterculture, it ain't even funny. I don't think traditional movements help you whatsoever. So I'm saying that right off the bat, because the next statement is such a simple statement, but if he can avoid the heel in the ground when he is cutting, moving, being dynamic, if he can avoid training with his heels locked in the ground and the nervous system is trained in such a way that accentuates his talents and his DNA, then I don't see anybody stopping him. We've seen some of the videos of him training already and all that. He's feeling really good knowing that he had the repair. It's healed. He had a chance just to kind of breathe a little bit and then, get at it as far as getting at it stress-free. So with all that said, I think the money element of it all is perfect. It shows Lamar, hey, we ready to do this thing. And it definitely is showing a commitment to Odell that, bruh, we believe in your work ethic and we believe in your talents. Let's roll. I think Steve Bisciotti is all in. And that's where it's at.
That's awesome. I love it. And I love your ideas against popular opinion. It's good stuff, Q.
Mm-hmm.
Gets me in trouble sometimes, but hey,
no, it's not lost on me. So I'm with you. But now I want to move it on down the line. We talked about Odell. It's exciting stuff. But then the Ravens follow that up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they go ahead same day that they announced the extension of Lamar Jackson. They go ahead and draft number 23 overall, Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers has got a lot of different comparisons. A lot of people have been comparing him to AB in the way that he plays football and the way that people have compared him to Marquise, which I'm not the biggest fan of that comparison. But ultimately, I would love to know what you see in this kid's game, if there's anything that gets you excited, and on the other end of that, if there's anything that gets you concerned.
The only concern, and it's not really a concern, but I guess if you want to say, well, he's not a big guy, okay. But I think he plays way different than Marquise. I think Marquise was a little guy who played little. Played little, not in a negative way. I'm saying he played finesse. He was more finesse. He had some explosive plays. I mean, I go back to the 2019 season and his, coming out party, if you will, with the Miami game. He was just unbelievable. His ability to stretch the field and just, take top off defense was just unreal. I thought we were seeing more of that throughout his career, but we just didn't. Again, I think that's just the Greg Roman effect of getting into his comfort zone and not really fully utilizing his players' talents in the best way possible. And then by the time, you have to manufacture something, it wasn't clean. It didn't look good. And I could just see how that could frustrate a Marquise. For Zay is a run after catch kind of guy. Zay is a, make you miss. You didn't necessarily fully wrap up on me. I'm elusive. I'm get out of your grasp and I'm gone. I think that's his flow, and he just does it. So yeah, like a jet sweep for Marquise was, okay, he's going to get to the corner. Nope, he ain't getting to the corner. Oh, boy, better get down quick. Whereas a jet sweep for Zay might be, oh yeah, he can see it. Maybe he might cut it back and get 12 yards when it could have been like a 4-yard loss, or he could turn the corner, break a tackle that was a very weak efforting tackle by a defensive back, and now he's gone. So I think he has tremendous big play capability in different ways than what we saw with Marquise.
I think one area of the offense I think was very much so lacking under Greg Roman was the involvement of the running backs in the passing game. And I looked around the league at all the successful teams. The Bengals don't have to look very far. It seemed like both their running backs had 50 catches and both had 700 yards. I'm sure it wasn't quite like that, but I think my point is, how much do you think the involvement in the running backs will help this passing offense in general? Because I think a lot of times they look to those running backs as, I'm just going to get the ball out of my hands, and they can turn nothing into something because they're, that's what they do. They have the ball in their hand, they make it guys miss. How much will that help this offense alone?
Yeah, so it's a catch-22 because what running back in the league has the dynamic open field talents of Lamar Jackson? So the other portion of that is, I'm not going to say laziness that's just easy for you, Qadry, to dump on, Greg, he ain't here no more. But I think it's the lack of innovation to not feature the running backs out of the backfield because you have Lamar. There is that, like you're saying, opportunity to pick and choose your spots when you want to use Lamar's legs and give other guys a chance. Oh, here you go, boom, I'm gonna dump it. Oh, here you go, right here, bam, right there. I'm not taking a hit, I'm not taking a shot. I can get rid of the ball. I think the outside throwing lanes are going to be more available to Lamar, but if they're not, I think the outlet that is the running back will definitely be available to Lamar as well. So then defenses get comfortable, and that's where stealing a page from the Gary Kubiak system, and I'm sure Todd is well advanced past that, if you will, when it comes to the naked boot. Man, how would you like to be a linebacker out there in space and you got number 8 coming at you and you don't know who's behind you? Is it Zay? Is it Devin Duvernay? Is it, Bateman? Who's behind me? I gotta go get Lamar. And now he's throwing it. Just a lot more options, I think. And those are some good problems to have offensively, but definitely you want to put pressure on the defense. And I thought, for Lamar, the lack of the running back being involved, was just the lack of the creativity within the offense. I mean, he had, a ton of run game creativity, which is one thing. That's great, but you got to have that fullness of creativity.
Yeah, we want the whole truth and nothing but the truth. We want all of it, right?
That's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. So I want to keep dissecting this wide receiver room really as a whole, because if you think about, Bateman, recent first round pick, had some injuries, but he certainly flashed last year, and we're excited about his recovery and what he can do. And then Aguilar, but then you also talk about Duvernay. DK has a graphic here of this unit as a whole. Really, my question for you, Qadry, is there a guy in this room that you consider a dark horse, or a guy that, because it seemingly the roster is set at this position, but is there a guy that could surprise some people?
Just tell him Dante Demas. Just tell him about Dante Demas, Qadry. Come on now.
I mean, it's not that I'm saying he can't. I mean, he picked the wrong time to like Dante, we love you, no Terps, all that. And again, I might as well just go wash my mouth out with soap for saying go Terps, because I'm all about the Syracuse Orangemen. What up? Anyway, the orange. So I just think that he's going to have an opportunity to show out in camp, but he's going to need to make the team via special teams. And he's going to have, I mean, I'm like, Coach, I want to be the gunner. Oh, no, we got a lot of defensive backs. No, Coach, I'm the gunner. Okay, go ahead out there, be the gunner. Hey, Coach, I want to be on the kickoff team. Yeah, but we kicked the ball through the end zone. I don't care. You know, I mean, I'm trying to make this team. I'm doing whatever I need to do. Oh, Justin Tucker needs somebody to hold the ball. Did you know I got like the hands of gold? Like, what's up? Jordan Stout needs to like rest his knee from punting, so I should hold for him. So that's, you know, where I see him at. And I think, you know, again, Dante could, like I said, show up and, you know, be that guy. But if all goes well, like it's set. I mean, who else? Like, I don't know. Do you want me to talk about Devin Duvernay?
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think Duvernay could find, you know, are we not talking about him enough? Is there enough? There's only one ball, right? And we got all these guys in front of him that need to eat. Does he get enough of an opportunity, and can Moncton create enough opportunities in space for him to where we can see what his full potential is? There's a lot of people here in Baltimore that are Team Duvernay.
Yeah, and I think, you know, part of all of it was, again, you know, when you look at the film, like what you're not going to see these a ton of individual routes to the tight ends. You know, you want to defend the width of the field. I got a guy who is a all-pro returner. He doesn't play like strictly returner type of a guy. He's a receiver that has phenomenal returning skills. I think I could utilize him, because if I am truthful about it, well, that linebacker out there can't hold a candlestick to what Devin can do. Mm-hmm. If I'm truthful about it, well, you know, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely are doing their thing, but, you know, I can get a little run action. And, yeah, I'm not having Odell in there for the run action, because no one's going to believe that he's going to be blocking. But everybody believes that you're going to have Devin Duvernay blocking, and shoot, he can go right over the top. So there's a lot there, I think. And I think all eyes are going to be on just the receiving core during camp. I think that's going to be the most watched group in Ravens history of training camp. Usually you would, you know, see some flash of a guy and but this right here is office. I don't know what they're going to do with, you know, training camp per se with Odell, but I'd love to see him and Fruit Punch go with each other, go at it. That would be cool to see, just because of their history together. And I'm sure most of it's water under the bridge in that regards, but, you know, competitors are competitors, and I want to see some of that. And I remember vividly when, you know, prime Odell at the Giants, bro, training camp. Oh, I mean, he was making DBs look sick. I mean, break out one way, go the other way, just snatch it with one hand, like, what up? Say something. So, you know, it's gonna be cool. And I think another guy is, how about your boy Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah, man. What do you think? What kind of impact can he have?
As long as there's no babies jumping out of the window, we good. Okay, we're good. And I think for Nelson, the pressure is going to be off of him, because he's just going to have to. Well, he's going to go up against a lesser defensive back. I was going to use the S word, but you know, nobody really are scrubs when you make it in the league, so that's disrespectful. I think any guy that is in the league, got a uniform on during, you know, game day, active roster, they belong out there, so you can't take them for granted. But I think he could feast as well, as far as like, yeah, those key plays and catches that can potentially keep a drive alive and make some things happen.
Sounds like you're excited about this room in general.
Yeah, man.
Got to put a smile on your face, right?
Dante, I think you should get a tattoo of him on your calf.
It's my guy. Hey, he's a Terp. He's my guy. No doubt about it. But I got to ask you, talk about, I think training camp's going to be probably, like you said, it's going to be the most exciting training camp I can remember. But OTAs are right around the corner. They have football school going on. Launched last weekend. The big thing that I've been hearing is that some fans are critical of Lamar Jackson for not being there present at everything, whether it's voluntary or mandatory, saying that he, is now the obvious leader of the offense. And if he was there, then no other player would have an excuse as to not be there. So thinking that he would bring everyone else there. What's your thoughts on the fact that Lamar Jackson is learning a new offense, does have some new weapons, and when do you think he has to be there by with the new contract?
New contract is already signed. It's filed in the NFLPA and obviously the league. So, I mean, it's an old contract now. It's signed. It's done. It's over. Okay. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the business of football, it's over. Now it comes to the play of football. And so from a play of football aspect of things, like, I don't want to see him at any football school. Like, for what? This is my franchise guy. We do not get paid in the off season. Like, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Roquan. I don't want to see Ronnie Stanley. You think Ronnie Stanley's going to, hey, guys, Lamar is out there. Let me go out there and do some pass sets against air, because Odafe Owe is trying to better his game. No. I'm like, man, I'm Ronnie Stanley. What's up? I got paid for all y'all got paid. So I don't need to worry about myself because I know who I am. I know I'm the best left tackle. Football, going out there and going fishing. I want Lamar mentally fresh, ready to go. Man, they got technology. I'd be sitting there FaceTiming Todd Monken. Hey, Todd. What you doing? Well, Lamar, I'm here at the castle. Now I understand that's why they call it the castle. This is a beautiful office, beautiful facility. Where are you at? Well, Todd. He might even call him Monk. What if we call him T Monk? T Monk, what up, T Monk? I am down in South FLA. And you know what I'm doing? I'm about to chill out and do some grounding. Earthing. We call it earthing. My feet are in the sand and my back is up against the palm trees, getting the negative electron or negative ions to give me the electrons in my body to recharge, homeboy. So let's go over the third down package. Then Monk gonna be like, okay, Lamar. No, Monk. Let's not get it twisted. You need to go outside, take your laptop, go outside, go out into the back of the castle, and go find yourself a nice little patch of grass and sit in it. You're gonna feel better. He's gonna do it because I want my quarterback and I to be on the same page. So that's how they're gonna flow. So then when it's time, and it ain't time, then you get with Odell and everybody else, and you sit down and talk to Nelson. Nelson, come here. Did you really drop that baby? So, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Like, it's going to be one of those things where it'll be all good when it's mandatory. Right now, right. This voluntary, I don't want to see anybody.
That's fair. I mean, suffice it to say, Q does not know what Lamar Jackson is doing right now and thinks he should be relaxing. His toes in the water, feet in the sand. How's it go? Toes in the water,
negative
ass in the sand.
Ions. Negative ion. Right. It replenishes the body. It's a long season. It's a long season. You're going abroad, talking to some people. Our fine flock is going to be over in England. Is it? Yeah, it's Tottenham. So the Hotspur Stadium, you're going to be sitting there and having a grand time and you know, it was the Titans that they're going up
Titans,
against, right?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's just ponder on that. Hold on. Let's let it breathe. Cup of tea. Cup of tea. Good. Christmas Day, San Francisco, Levi Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the offseason. Nobody's going to care when we go for a playoff run and we just took care of business early in the season at Tottenham Hotspurs. Ole, 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 and all that other cheering. Then you go out to the Bay Area, Christmas, talking about some, ho, 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 we whooped you, and we're flying back home to Baltimore.
That's right.
I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Cares about, you know, April, May, June. They'll be there when they be there.
Well, as a player,
it's so funny. That's what I was gonna say, Glenn. Sorry, it's so funny to me, Q. I love it, but every single time, you can so tell that you're a player in the league. Like it's very apparent.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone that's never touched a blade of grass, that has never, you know what I mean? They're all like, he needs to be there no matter what. Like that's the, you know what I mean? And I feel like honestly, you hear so many opinions that I try and, especially for the Ravens, I try and form my own opinions without listening to people because I talk about the Ravens and I want my opinions to be my own. But you hear things and you end up going back and forth in your head. But, listen to yourself and other guys, I'm like, duh. I mean, yeah, this is so clear. Like, enjoy your time off because ultimately the investment in your time off will pay dividends in the season.
Yeah.
It is such a grind. You never get through the season 100%. The good teams, and again, F minus kind of jacked things up for the last couple of years as far as just the talent that was on the team. So, again, F minus is not in the building, and hopefully the philosophy of it will, leave as well. But what I believe can happen is that if you do take, then, training camp, you're going to be ready to go. But then by week 3, you're going to be done. So then you're right back to where you started. So for those fans that need to, here's what I'm going to do for missile training. All the fans that feel they need to you need to come, I am. What they need to do is hook us up on, the 410 Sports Talk. Be like, oh, Qadry Ismail, I want to vicariously live like I'm Lamar. And I'll be like, all right, bet. We'll pick a spot down in the parking lot D of M&T Bank Stadium, and I'll be there. And I'll put you through some really good movements on the pavement when it's hot out and nobody's around because nobody be around at the castle. So why should anybody be around at M&T Bank Stadium? Security people are looking at you a little crazy. You'll be a little winded. Then you're going to go over and get yourself a beer, pull your hamstring while doing it. And you're going for cheering. It'll be a preseason work, but let Lamar be Lamar and work on his game his way.
Love it.
I love the F minus. I can't just let that go unnoticed. I love F minus, and not even saying the man.
Not even an F. It's an F minus.
I mean, you got to work to get that minus on the end of that F. That doesn't just come easy. But you talk about the schedule.
Yeah.
I gotta get your take as a player. They're playing at night on Christmas. Now, as a fan, I have my own opinions on when my favorite team plays on the holiday. But what do you think about them playing Christmas night all the way on the other side of the country, and your thoughts in general about the schedule with the late bye week, not till week 13? What are your thoughts overall?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I appreciate the fact that they're going on the road early in the year, AFC North. It sets the tone for you. If you think you're a good football team, you need to play well on the road. End of discussion. If you think you're going to make the playoffs, you got to handle your business against the AFC North. Done. So when you then look at, the end of the year, or for example, as you're saying, whether it be Christmas or some of the other primetime games, okay, I mean that if you got through that first portion of the season, now it's just jockeying for position. I love the fact that it's a late bye week. Keep you fresh. Then you kind of head on into it. I thought I read somewhere while the Ravens are traveling the sixth most in the league, they're going to play a team. They play no teams that are coming off buys the week prior. I know the one year was like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and both teams kind of weirdly were off buys, and so it was like, man, you're kind of screwing yourself there. But finally, like, woo, we got ourselves a home game at the end of the year. Finally, I mean, goodness gracious, we went to Cincinnati one more time. I mean, I would have just poked my eyes out. But yeah, like you get a chance to, take care of some business, and I love that you're going to be seasoned, though. And what I mean by seasoned, you're going to be seasoned by the fact that you're going to have to go up against Miami, and they don't like the cold, but you do. So it'll be great. The Dolphins will be up here in all their full regalia, and we're going to be like, oh, look who it is! It's the Dolphins. You guys look good in all your aqua. But we're going to be at home. It's the vault. We're going to be ready to go, and then it's going to be on because it's going to be Pittsburgh, last game of the year. Yeah, go ahead, pick it. We're going to pick you off this time, homeboy. Thought you was the man. Yeah, we got something for you. Well, I mean, did what he had to do. So I can't complain, but I got too many friends that are Pittsburgh Steelers fans. That's why like I'm okay. But I'm pissed. Yeah.
Yeah, this I tell you, I can tell when we talk to former players, we just talked to Adalis Thomas not that long ago. The rivalry still runs deep. I mean, he talked about he's ready. If Hines Ward wants to try and crack back today, he'll knock him off his cleats right now. So I can tell the rivalry does not go anywhere when your playing career is over, Q.
No, it doesn't. And social media
keeps it alive, huh? Plenty of kindling in that fire.
It does. And it's like Twitter is a wild, wild west, so I can navigate that. I put up a GIF and haha, yeah, okay, great. You guys suck anyway. But then you got Facebook, and it's like all your friends you went to high school and college with, now they're Steelers fans. All the junk and smack talk they talking. One of my boys from college, I was like, bruh, I will body slam you if you put one more Steeler. We got the victory. Go away. So the dynamics of it all is so crazy. But yeah, it really is. It's a unique rival. I love it. And I love the way in which, some of the newness of it all. We do need like a crackback block or something, what I'm saying? Something that's like really just wicked, and that this rivalry is here to stay. And I think some of the young guys, they get it. They recognize. They've said before, like, look, you're truly not known as a Raven until you take on and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so, I know Ben Roethlisberger has an amazing podcast, but I wonder every time, if he sits down, he feels double nickel underneath him, because T Sizzle still owns his ass, and that's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Oh, that's awesome. Qadry, I'll tell you what, man, it's been an absolute blast having you on. I got one more question related to this wide receiver room for you that's been kind of on my mind. We kind of skipped over Bateman. He's going through this recovery. Zay is there. OBJ is there. What type of a role do you see him having in the offense? I don't know how important it is, like depth chart wise, to be a 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever the case may be, but really role wise, what do you see Bateman doing this upcoming season, barring health, right? Assuming that he has health moving forward.
Yeah, no, the good thing is that F- can't F him up. So that's good. I think for him to really flourish is to get through camp. If he can get to the season, you come into camp 100%, no F minus, gives you a chance to come out of camp. I'd say, 76%. You get a 76% football player. My God, whoo, you're setting yourself up to be really, really good. And I think for Bateman, some of the things that we saw from him last year early on was really promising. I don't anticipate him being, slowed down too much. I think he's going to be in a great position to be, a true 1A, if you will, however it shakes out, because there are going to be more opportunities on that outside throwing lane. There are times where he was open, but that wasn't the lane to throw it in. It was an option route to the tight end. And, so, it wasn't that Bateman wasn't doing his job. It wasn't called for him to be featured. So I think now it gives him a chance to be featured. And again, that's EDC cooking. I think that's, John Harbaugh recognizing he needs some better sous chefs, and he got one in Todd Monken.
Love it, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just got another one. Q, is there any glaring needs left on this team where you go, they got to address this position, or do you think that they're almost set for training camp?
Yep, D-line can't have enough of it. I think the young bucks up front, they're good. They're solid. They're as advertised, but you need some horses. You need a stable full of them. And I think D-line. I know everybody is saying can't have enough corners. I agree. Long live Ozzie. But I think at the same time, when you get to that quarterback, bruh, stop that run, bruh. Go ahead. Now it makes life a little bit easier for your defensive backs. I really think, D-line.
Yeah, that's something we've been talking about too. It'll be interesting to see how they address that. Maybe bringing back some old vets, or kind of what they do here. But Q, we are so grateful for your presence here on the show as always.
Yes,
it's an
sir.
Absolute privilege for us to have you on the show. Why don't you tell the folks? If they don't already know, then it's kind of on them, right? But why don't you tell the folks where they can find you, what you're working on, and things like that?
Absolutely. So the quickest way, obviously, is on Twitter. My Twitter handle is I am Qadry Ismail. It's the Wild Wild West. So if you want to go ahead and come at me, just know it's in one ear, right out the other. If you want to have an intelligent football conversation, absolutely go ahead. Give your strong opinion. I'm sway me the other way. That's cool. Missiletraining.com is my website. If you're a young athlete, older person, I train clients from 6 to 84 years of age. Dude happens to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. There's a thing called respecting your elders. And when he brings in one of those authentic Franco Harris jersey, there's nothing I can say but, okay, all right. Hallelujah. We're going to have a hard workout today, Richard, and I'm going to whoop your ass.
Love it. That's so awesome.
But those are opportunities to interact with me, and love to have a chance to chop it up and talk some football or some training.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Qadry. Have a great evening. And that is all for us tonight, folks. Have a great one as well. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Q.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.